Oh yeah, you might hit me with that
Yeah, I got you, man. That's what I do.
Thank you.
Let me double cup you for you.
Yes, thank you, please.
Do you want some too, or?
I'm good. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, Ben is not a vodka man. He is a he is
I
a
most
Scotch.
certainly am not.
No,
Scotch.
are you a Scotch man?
Scotch.
Yeah, now I remember.
I fuck with you. We friends.
Scotch and bourbon is where I like to go.
Thank you.
I really like bourbon's more bitter, ain't it? It's a little more bitter.
You know, I don't know. Than Scotch? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like Scotch is sometimes a little more sweet, but maybe I'm tweaking.
Scotch is definitely, it feels a little harsher, but not like in a bad way. More like it's got like a unique flavor to it. I can't explain it. I don't know enough about this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, I feel like it's like kind of like, I don't study this shit, but it's like kind of like just, I don't know, I was going through taste. You know, like, I'll drink like, you know, I drink a lot, but like, I'll drink something and be like, there's this little taste to it. You know, like vodka for some damn reason be sweet for no reason and shit or something. But like that's even, let's say like the cheaper ones, like them just for some weird reason they'd be like a little sweet.
Very sweet, like lemon New Amsterdam.
Oh fuck that, man! I never do the flavored shit. That shit give me a stomach ache.
Yeah, I don't like flavored any alcohol at all. I want like the straight thing.
Straight shit,
Pure.
Bro, we're on the same level of that.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing right now? Just straight vodka?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that your main drink you like?
Depends. Like more like summertime or fall time. Sometime I can do vodka. Winter I like to do whiskey. You know, because whiskey give you that. You know how that whiskey give you that heat. You know, give you that. I mean, well, alcohol give you that, but it give you that little fire in your belly, in your chest and shit. When like drinking whiskey, I'm like, oh, this shit a little strong.
So how you guys doing?
We good.
Yeah.
Chilling like a villain.
How has music been for you since the pandemic happened?
We got a process. At the WZRD.
Oh wait, we did something at WZRD at the start of the pandemic.
No. We got to approach this. We got to approach it with this question.
Oh yeah, WZRD asked this too.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. It's not like a bad thing. I'm just one kind of like making that a good segue. But like, yeah, like it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked. Nonetheless, it sucked. Like, man, pull this up. It sucked because I couldn't do no damn shows. We had like a whole fucking tour we were setting up because we're putting money together so we can go ahead and get this tour cracking. Because usually every year we go to ACE, the anime convention and shit in Rosemont. And for the to promote the Citizen record, because every time we go, if y'all check out our Instagrams, DrxQuinnx at LILKYDD.
LIL_KYDD.
LIL_KYDD. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Wait, how about this? Let's introduce yourselves first, and then we'll keep going.
I bet.
There you go.
All right, well then let's do this. Hi, I am the Lord Don Brownsville Briscoe God Gooch Lord Gluttony Dr. Quinn, bringing mass hysteria to your motherfucking to Ben's area, and we got
hold up, GM from your BM's DM. It's LILKYDD. You already know Lil Kydd. Find me at LIL_KYDD, otherwise known as the asterisk, otherwise known as the Trenchcoat Wizard. Like, I'm blanking on all the other monikers, but those are usually the two.
Yeah.
But together we are the Citizen.
Yeah. Orewa Kominda.
And where are you guys hailing from? Where are you guys coming from?
We hail from the great city of Chicago. It's lovely there. It's lovely around this time. Usually, I don't know. I'm just making this up, but the cold is brutal. The cold is very fucking brutal.
It's kind of a gray area for me, actually. Like
cold?
No. Like not even the cold. Like I'm born in Chicago, like raised in the South Suburbs, and because the South Suburbs are split into so many different like areas, I don't even want to drop the exact spot because then people will go looking and I'm just like, no.
We'll give y'all a hint. It's where Juice WRLD's from.
Yeah. Well, no, not even where Juice WRLD's from.
And y'all went to high school together.
We went to high school together, but like I mean, to be fair, like, and I'm totally fine with saying that it's HF because HF is like an incubator for rappers.
Yeah.
Freaking Rocky Fresh went there, Femdot went there,
yeah.
Martin Sky went there.
Yeah.
He's a producer.
Can you be more specific? What you saying? HF?
Home with Flossmore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it actually serves a lot of different communities. So, I mean, just like the name would imply, you have people coming in from Homewood and Flossmore. You have people that come in from
Hazel Crest.
You got people that come in from I'd say, I don't know if it reaches Harvey, but it reaches a lot of different townships. Like, I can't geography. I'm gonna be real, but Olympia Fields, it can probably reach Olympia Fields.
Talk about as far as the district is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where you went to high school.
Oh yes, and these days it's like it grows bigger and bigger every time I look at it. Like it's always funny to think about because I always joke about it and say that our class was like the last class that actually acted like they had any sense. It's like HF is a sinking ship. That's what I always said. HF was a sinking ship and we were the last survivors. But if you were to look at exactly how it's built and how it keeps growing and developing, you wouldn't think that. Like it looks like some of these college campuses. Like I went to GSU and I still look at HF and I'm like, nah, that's fucking bigger.
Really, it's that big.
It's that big. It's like it's got a north building and a south building and a field house and just like all this different stuff. I mean, at the risk of sounding like a basic ass nigga who lives in his high school days, it's a pretty interesting place. They're trying to turn it in. No, it's already there. It's already it's already an art school, pretty much. Like they focus on the arts. And that's a good thing about it. Don't die on me, Quinn.
No, I can't die. I'm God, man. I can't die.
You ascending over there, just like, but nah, like.
Oh man, that's at what's that? Oh damn, what the fuck? See, that's that good because I forgot what he told me. I forgot what it was called. Go ahead.
No, but yeah, like I remember it vividly. Like they would always talk about the sports and stuff. Me personally, I quite frankly thought that our sports team sucked, but that's just my opinion. we really came there and learned about like you go there for the arts. Truthfully, like it's their arts and their broadcasting and all these different things that have to do with like the arts in general. So visual art, broadcasting, any kind of like media, poetry, rapping, stuff like that. All that stuff is nurtured in that environment to the point where I feel like it was the proper move for it to become an art school. Even when I wasn't even there, it's almost like you knew that was what was making the money, or that was the flagship attribute of the school because everybody was always just so like talented. There were all these talented minds just thinking outside the box. And it was a very chill place, like there's always this stereotype of high school and the high school experience that it's just like, oh, everybody sticks to their own kind and it's all cliquey and stuff like that. Like, no, like you had like the Yu-Gi-Oh table. I was a part of that Yu-Gi-Oh table, but sometimes you'd have like the so-called jocks coming in. They'd come through and, like we'd spit bars and stuff like that. And even this one time, like this one of the people who did basketball, like he was ready on his way to a game, just all sharp dressed. You know how they go to the games all sharply dressed, and he just had a whole box of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he just folded me them shits. And I'm just like, it was mostly commons, but I'm just like, oh man, that's love.
For those who do not know, folding, a verb meaning to defeat. Or also can be used to cave. Folding.
The way I am using it, I always think that to fold as the infinitive would mean, like it could mean that, but it could also mean to give up, like fold them shits.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like cave. Like that's what I meant by cave. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's strange because like just any kind of like craft that you see, like people would just nurture that at HF. It's like I feel like I'm sounding very ambiguous about it, but
well, let me ask you a question. Did you come to music while there, like as a singer?
No, actually, well, yes and no. Like when I first started rapping, I was fresh out of junior high, and it was at that point that I knew that my basketball career was over. Like that was the funny part about it. It was almost like, you know how like there's that crossroads, or you know like you can either like as a black youth, especially as a black male, it's kind of like they'll expect you to do one or two things. And like my algebra teacher, it was funny because she would always say some shit like, "Oh, it's like, don't you guys do anything other than play basketball and rap?" It was racist as fuck, but like it was. But there was some truth to it.
Some truth, that's real.
Like I mean, you either it seemed like everybody was either their niche was either shooting basketball, playing some kind of sport, or rapping, or who knows, maybe they just want to do drugs or sell drugs. This is, I mean, it is what it is. Like I didn't see too many of that latter type, but I knew they existed and I knew they were around. But I will neither confirm nor deny it.
Man, see, and that's something that's different from my high school. Like that's what's something as a formerly being a teacher, you know, like as an educator, I've even before that as a kid, you know, I've always heard as a kid, you know, like schools taking away programs. I even seen programs get taken away. Like even a sport got taken away because of what was it? 2 reasons. Yeah, those 2 reasons. When I was in college, the wrestling team, there was no more wrestling team. They took it away because there weren't that many people joining, and they're either because there weren't that many people joining, and also the grades, their grades. So and that took that whole program away. The grades fucked it all up. So, and it's kind of like, you know, we got to remember, like, schools are a business. You know, schools are a real business. You know, I ain't,
especially like when you get to college.
Oh no, period. Like I think about it like this. Like if you think about college versus your high school, who do you think is getting the most money as far as administration?
I guess it depends on the college. But if it's state schools, it might be high school.
Yeah, so basically, the school districts
and like the high ups at college will get paid well.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking like, all right, you got the district, all right. Like say for instance, for me, I'm originally from Champaign, so I may be living in Chicago, but I'm not from there. I am originally from Champaign, Illinois. 217 all day. Let it be known. All right, you have like Central, all right, the high school, Central, Centennial. Yeah, Central and Centennial. That's it. Those are the only 2 high schools, and then you got the middle schools, Edison, Franklin, and Edison, Franklin, and Jefferson. And then you got I don't even know all the damn public schools. I went to private school my first 7 years. Yeah, because when you got to count kindergarten as your first year, right? So like my first 7 years of my life, you know, I went to a private school, went to a Catholic school and shit. It's kind of what has been kind of also inspires like my music and shit a little more. But I mean, I'll get to that a little later. But like owning district, like thinking about it like that is like, yeah, colleges may be generating a lot of money, if not it's generating the most. But it's like the district and shit, and it's like the state is really getting a lot more money off of them than the college could get off itself, because it's like one independent business versus one independent business with a franchise. Like we don't even think about school districts being franchises. Like when you said all the towns around you, all the suburbs around you, I was like, so the district facilitates so many different towns and shit, because y'all get busted in from different areas. Like I even remember as a teacher, like
what did you teach?
I used to be a sub.
Okay.
I used to be a substitute, and I also used to teach special ed as well.
Oh, okay.
So
what drew you to special ed?
I just wanted to do it. That was it. That was blatantly it. I was like, I needed a job. I just want to do it and get my foot in the door in education. So why not? And I never thought of it as difficult. I mean, I've been through some fades. So, like but it's like I'll tell you I'll tell you the story of my very first job. Right, this is so funny, right? So, man, it's so funny. Then my very first job, my very first job as a kid, I got my very first job at like 15. So I worked at this grocery store, called IGA, But this is my first job as a teacher. This. Now, what was beautiful about this job was that I was able to create lesson plans. I was able to, I had a lot of control. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a person who likes to have a lot of, I'm a team player, Like, for instance, like with us, all these work experiences, and people don't like to think about it that way, but when it comes to entertainment, you got to think of entertainment as a job and a business. Like, when me and him are talking about splitting money, how we, coming over to each other's houses and shit to rehearse and shit. That's that business part, Mm-hmm. That, like that, what I mean? Like, low key, like schools and jobs have groomed you to kind of, get ready for that. But all right, so my first job, right? Being a special ed, right? And a lot of people always tell me like, "Oh my God, you're so patient. You're so." That should be pissing me off. Yeah, it ain't about no goddamn patience. It's about understanding. Like, all right, nigga, look. If I'm gonna say this, if you were unable, think about this. If you were unable to talk, not like you're mute. Now you may not. I don't know if you've seen this population. I'm just saying, like. But I'll just give you an example. It's like, it's not like you give out grunts. It's you're nonverbal. You can make vocal noises, but you can't formulate words. Yeah. Now imagine being like having that and trying to express yourself to somebody while having limited cognizance of understanding basic functions in the sense of whatchamacallit, like say, for instance, you forget, like, we all forget certain shit. Like, we forget something like sign language or something like that. Yeah. And just imagine having that. And then and I'm trying to, and if I was a dick, I'll be thinking like, oh, you just need that. All right, well, let's go. But that's not what you need. When you be upset, mm-hmm. That's the population. That's the thing that people got to understand. It's like, if you understand those parts, those little things with certain people, you can understand a lot more. Like my friend Monica. Shouts to Monica Grayson. You got to give the same energy to your ears as you do your lips. Give the same energy to your ears as you do your lips. You can talk all day, don't mean you listening. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the case with me with this student. This is a whole other thing. So this is how it goes. I was so he had in his curriculum in his lesson plan, he had to be able to learn how to use the keyboard appropriately, right? And in that sense of like knowing how to actually type, So what was it? All right, first off, the student was 17, 6'3". So I'm 6'5", right? So this he your height basically, and 230 pounds. I'm just to let you know before what happened. You can already guess what happened, but you're right. I'm just building it up now. He was very frustrated because he wasn't understanding how to type. You can tell him what fingers to use. But it's kind of like micromanaging. It's like if I were to micromanage y'all, I'd be like, oh, man, do this, do that. No. So I'm like, all right. And I saw a certain tool, because I was reading an autism or a special needs book, for schools and stuff to like help people with their, develop their skills. I was reading a magazine. I was like, yeah. I saw a keyboard with different colors and gloves that came with with those same colors. I'm like, oh shit. Hold on. Let's get this shit.
Top of the morning.
And so I was like, oh shit. And I was thinking like we could order that, or I can ask permission and make it myself. Hey, you go to art school and shit, and you do art all your life. You're like, fuck it, you can make shit. Shit, especially when you're like a young kid that was that in school, all they did was cut paper and shit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I made him one of those sets, right? And so he was able to type, right? So he was, and he felt less anxiety, so it was good. So like most teenagers, there's days you just don't want to do. You don't feel it. You don't feel shit. You don't feel it at all. You're like, fuck you. I'm not even here today. And he wasn't there today. So he just and I'm trying, me trying to help him out. I'm like, because I try to use less instruction with him. I was using less instruction at that time, Because but again, I'm a rookie. I'm still learning. So he the fuck. So he was just like, he was basically fucking around. He wasn't trying. And I had to redirect him. I was like, and his reward was pop because mom wanted him to get off soda because he drinks soda like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And his mom, not his mom, but that was his reward. It was pop. So I was okay. I'm like, okay, I like, all right, man, I'm gonna take your pop away. He was like, don't take pop. I'm like, and then all right, then do what you need to do. He started typing again. Then he started fucking around. Oh, no. It was because he was showing teeth. Mm. And then that's another thing. Because, I'm not going to show it because, I don't want to get legally in trouble. But, because, it's not even making fun of the man. But he would show his teeth, in a very, like, angrily way and shit. So, people would, and so it's like, we're just teaching them how to, be appropriate in public. It was like, yeah, you may be mad, like, I get mad at people and stuff. I'm walk around and make a little look like, but then but that's something we learn how to do, right? But at the same time, we have at a certain cognizance, it's like, yeah, some coping mechanisms, take some time for you to get over, and we had to find new ones. So then, he was showing his teeth profusely. I say profusely because I ain't gonna talk about how many times. We gotta keep it going, but like I ain't gonna talk about how many times. But yeah, after a while, I was like, all right, man, like pop is gone. He's like, don't take pop. I'm like, nah, man, pop is gone. And I wasn't yelling at him. I was just saying it like that, like, nah, man, pop is gone. You showing your teeth, pop is gone. You understand? And then he looked at me as dead as you looking at me right now. He said this. He looked at me on. So he hit me on the left side. He was like, psh, that quick. Now, any other human being would definitely throw a fade with this young man. I did not. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to be real. This is why I said I used to get in phase myself as a kid. If you've never lived that life, you wouldn't know how to learn how to discipline yourself. It's not like I feel it's good and no one have to get in the fight. Or beat up, but...
You got in a lot of fights growing up?
Oh, yeah, as a kid, man. All the time as a kid. But, you learn when and when not to fight.
When would you fight? Like, what reasons did you have?
When someone hit me.
Why'd they hit you, though? Like, what...
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't remember sometimes, like, I'm not even bringing up that story, but yeah. One is because I blocked this dude's shot, and he got mad.
Oh, basketball?
Yeah, and then he punched me in the mouth.
Just because you blocked him?
Yep. And he punched me in the mouth, and I was like, I went to the mirror. I was like, did the Bruce Lee thing, and I was looking in the mirror. I was in the gym still. Where I was looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh hell no, I ain't gonna take this shit. And so threw the fade with his ass and won.
You dikembe'd him and got Ron Artest.
Well, this is funny, man. Right? This is so funny how this is what funny how it happened, right? So I purposely missed a punch just to fuck with him and just to get him squared up. And then, we boxed it out. I blocked a good chunk, but he got me in the face a few times. I definitely hit him a bunch of times in the face. So I was ready. I didn't want to fight him, but I was like, dude, I'm not going to take this shit no more with y'all bullying me. Mm-hmm. So, and this is after school, thank God, because it's during the open gym. And so he goes and picks me up. It's funny as hell, right? He picks me up. And then I'm drilling him in the face still, just, because I'm like, I don't care what you do. I'm a shift my weight down. I know karate and shit, so it's like I know how to fight. Like, bro, like I don't pride myself on it. It's just I don't even like fucking doing it. I cry when I do that shit.
When you fight?
Yeah, I literally cry. Like if I start crying, oh, just get the hell away from me. There is no calming me down. Mm-hmm. But
man, that sounds hard.
Yeah, but he put me down. he kind of quartered me in the wall, but then I kicked him, and then the instruct or the coach or whatever was like, it wasn't our coach, but like the dude that was watching us, he like split us up and stuff. And the dude came to school talking about some people came to school talking about I lost, right? But he came into school looking like Martin from that one episode when he fought that one boxer, claiming that he win. He came into school looking like that.
I used to love that show growing up.
I swear, right?
I
was
that
in the
show.
far lunch table, and I could see from there. I was like, okay. But what's fucked up was like I was like, yeah, it was. I don't like fighting at all, And it's like, I like to be peaceful, like that instant, someone who's so. I feel like being so used to that, because I mean, it's not like I grew up like in a lot of fights. Like, oh man, I was picking. They just came to me. I got beat. It was
always self-defense.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I got beat up at 4 years old, man. Man, this also. All right, let's talk about some racism on this one too. Like, I was 4 years old. In front of my house, I wanted to go out. I wanted to go play with the neighbors. I didn't have any friends. I just wanted to go play. I got hit in the head with a rock. And I got called a nigga. And it hit me. I got hit in the head with a rock. I was knocked out for 5 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead ass serious. I was knocked out for 5 fucking minutes.
Oh my god!
They hit me in the. I still got the sauce.
That's a big rock.
Yeah, one of them decorative rocks. You know what I'm talking about? The ones in the yard. Yeah, I got hit with one of those. 4.
Oh my god! Was it another kid?
Yeah, and him and his brothers and him and his friends and brothers and shit.
White kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one called me a nigga, and then all of a sudden, I was playing ball, but I sucked. I mean, I'm 4 years old. You can't throw a basketball that high.
No, you can't. Do anything, no.
Try to develop your muscles and shit.
Yeah.
And, before technique, one called me a nigga, and then I think I got punched in the stomach or I got punched in the chest, some shit, and then I got hit in the head with a rock.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's heavy, man. Jesus.
I'm thankful my school had a fucking zero tolerance policy.
Really?
That wasn't school, man. That was outside my house.
Oh, damn.
That's where you lived.
That's where I said I walked to the neighbor's house and this shit happened. Like
what
next
happened
door.
when you woke up? Do you remember?
My mom taking me in.
To the hospital?
Nah.
Oh, just to the house?
Just to the house.
Did you end up going to the hospital?
Nah, I was good.
Wow.
I just got cracked with a rock. It didn't my mom was checking me, but I was good.
Man.
But yeah, that was outside the house. Literally. My mom saw what happened and then told them to get away and shit. Like,
that should never be someone's earliest memories.
Growing up in Champaign, hey, I mean, it is what it is, like I'm lucky to have the family I have. I'm lucky to have the friends and stuff. I came from my homie's marriage, shouts to the Brunsons. That's never been or made me, I understand, what's out there. I don't know how to say it. It's like more so like, I understand racism, to a T. There's really no other way to explain it outside of just like it's a mental illness. Like Jane Elliott said, it's a mental illness. And we don't even want to classify it in the DSM.
It feels like it when I witness someone else do it. I can't imagine what it feels like when you are receiving it.
When I say it's a mental illness, it's like, it's not with us. It's with y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like to not be able to understand, it's not about to not be able to understand, but to be able, as people, we should be able to just do when it comes to making a change. Mm-hmm. We see something wrong, we do something about it. But with the issue of racism is, I can choose not to. Right? Like it took one person to film Rodney King. Everybody else just drove by. Mm-hmm. And it may not been, and it wasn't even during the time of camera phones and shit, or smartphones, whatever the fuck. Like it was during the time of video recorders,
old VHS recorders.
Yeah, and dude just happened to have and was like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
it's like it's real.
It is very real. It's awful.
But it's never, until that shit ends, I ain't gonna trip. I mean, I'm just like, shit. Shouts to Eddie Schaefer for finding my and my old Twitter account for saying this. I'm only leaving the conversation I'm leaving the conversation about racism to white people. Y'all got discuss amongst yourselves. It's not. I don't hate y'all, but it's more like, as many times as we have to say it, nah, y'all gonna have to figure it out. Y'all gonna have to figure it out at some point. We get when y'all ready to talk, we'll talk. That's a harsh thing to say, but that's some real shit.
I can definitely see where you're coming from with saying that, to be honest. It's you're not wrong in feeling that way. It's a conversation that I have with myself all the time, and when I have with friends, close friends.
Yeah.
I try to just understand it.
Yeah.
Because you're not wrong. It's very complicated, and when it's a part of the fabric of society, as a white man, it's very strange waters to navigate, because you're like you're trying to relearn and unlearn some negative, some really bad stuff.
I mean, I say, shouts to Ben here, for DZ Fest.
Oh, thanks, man.
Let me tell you how great of a host this man is. Okay, so. I'm not going, like I said, anyways. I've had several experiences actually, where proprietors of a venue, like even before me and you we'll go to shows, and then me and you've seen them shits, like when and thanks to light skin syndrome, or colorism. I'm making a joke, but anyways, they'll look at Kydd more as friendlier, but me as scarier. And so they get more timid with me. But I appreciate people like you who actually be like, yo, how you doing? Hold on, how you doing?
Yeah, like I was wondering about that too. Like I would just like run down the list like before, because in the beginning I was just like really skeptical about it. And I wouldn't say that I was ignoring my, I don't know, light-skinnedness as a factor in all of this. I was just thinking to myself, like, is it because they approached me first, or is it because I talk a certain way, or is it because I just like use all of these flowery words and shit? Like, but nah, like I was legit peeping it. I'm just like, nah, y'all like legit intimidated by my homie for no good reason. Like when, quite truthfully, we are equals in this whole entire endeavor.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
It's like he was on the show with us on at the festival, is because like we planned it that way. Wherever I go, he go. Wherever he go, I go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be his Pippen to his Jordan and vice versa. Mm-hmm. In that sense, when it comes to the way we operate as businessmen and performers and entertainers. But it's like I only say that, only speak on that part of the subject in the sense of it's like, don't think for young rappers watching this right now, don't think that you're excused from racism because you're an entertainer. If you see that Kendrick Lamar video, that'll tell you right there, that's enough said. But don't think that you got, it's like it's out there still. It just people are just ignorant to systematic things. And like, that's why I like, I mean, having an honest conversation with you, it's like, bro, you're awesome. You're fucking awesome.
Thank you.
That's why I want to do this thing with you. That's why I came through. I'm like, bro, you're fucking awesome. Like, from the bottom of my heart. Like,
wow. Thank you.
That ass.
That means
like,
a lot. I feel the same way about you guys. That's why, you're here too. Why I wanted to do some videos with you guys, have you play, have you talk, hear your stories, learn more about you as a person.
Y'all, like, for real, like, because, like, the way you approached us at the show, was like, all right, I'm home. It felt like how it was when I was at home and shit. I'm like, oh man, I ain't had this feeling in a long time. And then had us having pizza. He had a roll, but I was like, bro, you should have stayed, man. Like, ooh, we was having pizza and shit.
That pizza was great.
Yo, that shit was busted.
I knew at midnight. I was like, we need 2 20-inch pizzas here.
Bro, that shit was
Yeah,
busted.
like DZ just felt so intimate. It felt like such an intimate setting, you know, even like you in your backyard, you kept it so clean. Just like I was looking at it just like, man, this shit big as fuck, and he kept it all clean, ain't none on the ground.
I got a great team of friends, you know, that help to maintain that
they
you know.
they do a great job,
Oh, yeah.
bro. Like I'm just sitting there seeing the synergy behind DZ Fest and that. I'm like
you approached us like fam and legit like
everybody was like fam. Like
Yeah.
the staff was supportive.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's like, bro, like, man, I'm speechless on that shit.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, bro, you're awesome as
because
shit.
I love grassroots endeavors like that, and I hope I'm not like being in any way like presumptuous or
Nah,
like,
man, he's like, this is what, the 9th one?
That was the 9th one. The 10th one is next July, yeah.
word.
We'll talk about that later.
It would have been 11, but COVID, you know, canceled 1 year.
Man, I swear to God, if COVID was like big enough to throw a fade with, but then again, I forget it's a germ, so get anything on you probably die quicker.
I'm glad you guys had a good time. It was so much fun. This year was amazing just to get through because of COVID. It was hard to come back. Different season, you know, checking vaccines and cards. It was just a really hard thing to overcome, like on your own with a couple, like, you know, handful of friends. But it's the momentum of doing it 9 times where you kind of know how to get through it, you know.
Like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but at least but the difference is it ain't gonna be the last. I know that.
It's the last here. Yeah, it's the last here.
Ooh, well there we go, Seinfeld. Kendrick, we moving into better things.
I don't plan on stopping. I just plan on
Moving locations
growing,
and
growing in a healthy way. I want to grow in a healthy way.
And that was about like how many freaking people? Like what? Like
It's hard to say. Every year there's thousands across the days and at different
yeah,
times.
like
It's
that
all
shit
over the
was
place.
wild. Like I'm sitting there seeing like
It's a backyard.
There was a bro. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's hard to explain, you know.
Oh man,
Because like a lot of people will just do clout moves, and then there are other people who will just be like, "Nah, I'm gonna pick some cats that are raw."
And it's like, you know, you're one of those people that I feel that you hear these people all the time. Whatever we like, roll up the shows and shit. They talk about, yeah, I want to build a community of artists and make this and blah blah blah. Nah, man, see, you want to do what he's doing, like. Learn to be a business mogul, man. Like, dude, like, freaking, like, that's the thing that a lot of people be forgetting. It's like, we love the art. We just gotta get paid.
Yeah.
It's sad to say that shit, but it's like, all right, we gotta get paid. Like, but getting paid is in a sense like money in a sense in this world is survival. We ain't gotta worry about having to go hunt for our dinner. Cause humans nowadays, man, we'll go extinct within 10 years. Okay, like all right, throwing phase with mountain lions and shit. That is not happening. That is not happening. Shit, but it's like you know, like even with artists, it's like, you know, talking about like wanting to be like for the people and all that stuff. It's like there's no shame in talking about the money. You know, you just gotta be with the right people. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like everybody's mistrust is not trusting within everybody, and it's fine. But you have to be willing to like, all right, who can I work with? What can I work with right now? What are the first steps? You know, but the first question you should ask yourself is, am I willing to do this? That should be the very first question you should ask yourself. Am I willing to do this? Because if you say you're willing to do this, that means you're willing to go through the ups, the downs. Because I ain't gonna front, there been times I've been ready to quit rap. I was like, fuck this shit. But nah, like, you gotta really ask yourself those questions in order to build something. that you want to build. I don't know what the fuck it is for everybody, because I don't know everybody in the world.
Yeah.
But whatever anyone's endeavor is, hell, even if you want to be a custodian, and custodians get paid, that's like $70,000 a year.
Depends on the school.
Depends on the no, not the school. They're actually contracted out.
Oh, okay. Well, depends on the company then.
Yeah, they're contracted out nowadays. Yeah, man. It's, like I said, they be running like a business. Going back, they run like a business. But yeah, like whatever it is you want, anyone wants to do, you got to think about. Am I willing to do this?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that is a question that I knew the answer to instantaneously every second you ask it to yourself for the last 15 years, I'd say. And the answer was always just like, yeah, like I can't, it's not really language in the sense of how you normally would think in your head, like, because we think in our languages, right? So you're like, am I willing to do this? It's like innate to just be like, I'm always going to do this. You know, like, it's all I know.
Right.
I'm not even thinking of anything else, really. This is just what I do. I'm just being myself, the only way I know how to. So it's very natural, and I just follow that flow. I don't really resist it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, that's agreeable. I was the same way. I felt like when I was a kid, you know, all I did was draw in school, you know, and then I was like, you know, when it came to like high school and shit, like literally the first thing I thought about was scholarships. I was like, you know, I was a bench warmer in middle school for basketball and shit in high school, but I was actually really cold. Like that's the sad part. I was actually really fucking cold, and no one wanted to put me in. They're like, oh, it was like, oh, and the only excuse was, oh, you don't know the plays. No, back to racism. No, you didn't. No, I wasn't that loud, rowdy black kid. That's what they wanted. The loud, rowdy black kid that could be cocky. Nah.
Like exploit you.
I didn't realize how cocky Jordan was and shit. But yeah, like they wanted that. It's like, no, I'm not that. I conduct myself in a different way. Like it's just like, you notice it when I'm rapping. It's like I'll go ahead and smile at your ass, and I'm rapping. And then I'll diss the fuck out your bitch ass.
Yeah, they wanted to build a narrative around you, and you just like you wasn't about to fold with it.
I'll be like, yeah, if anybody, it's like, yeah, people want the smoke. Me, I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna be like this, but like rap my words, whatever. But no, like, you know, like thinking about it, like in that sense, it's like, what was it? My damn near lost eye. Fucking
basketball. Well, you were asked to know the plays. That's why they said they didn't.
Yeah, I mean that's why. But like at the same time, it was kind of funny. Like I did know plays and shit, but they didn't want to put me in. So my parents started putting me in YMCA basketball. Bro, I ain't gonna front. I was cold. I'm not to brag. I was fucking cold.
When were you dunking?
I started dunking in between my freshman and sophomore year. I went to Eastern Illinois. Bro, I swear to God.
College? That's when you started dunking? So like 19?
No. No, I went to the camp over there between 15. I was 15.
Oh, you started dunking at 15?
Yeah.
Okay, 15. So freshman, sophomore in high school, not college. Got it.
Yeah, so I was in between there in the summertime. So like that's when I first started dunking.
You were able to dunk at 15?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm jealous.
And so like, all right, so when I started high school and shit, right? Shouts to Champaign, Illinois, 217 all day. Jarrell Young, Chase Baby, Mother Nature. Yeah, Mother Nature from there. I'm exposing some Nick. Now I'm playing. But, you know, great thinkers. You know, Belly, Heart, anybody. Anyways, y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is, all right? Everybody, you know. All right, so still. High school, right? I was, whatchamacallit. So when I first got into high school, I wanted to get into all sports, right? Like, I played Y-ball, and it really excelled in Y-ball. Like, we won the championship, actually. We won, the 1 year I was on, because the second year, my grades were ass, so my parents kicked me the fuck off.
Oh, man.
But, hey, I mean, it taught me a lesson. I mean, you gotta earn for what you do. So, I ain't mad at that, but... you know, hey, should have got the grades up. But I was really well at basketball and shit, you know. Then my shouts to Argy Johnson, man. Oh God, he put so many kids through college, and I'll say that part for you in a minute. So Argy approached me and my dad because I in school one day about me doing track because for all these years I've been doing cross country, they said I'll be a 400 runner. I'm like, oh, I ain't running that 400. Like, what's the 400? Oh, that's the whole lap. I'm like, hell no, that's sprinting the whole ass lap. Sure enough, after football and basketball, I wound up joining track. My sophomore year, but so here's what the donkey. So the donkey came in after basketball, right? In between my in the summertime, right? Before my sophomore year, right? I did it in a basketball camp, right? I was practicing, you know. I swear to God, with my man with the Dragon Ball Z reference, I got right. He knows I reference it too much, so it's like, yeah, like the thing with Goku and training. Oh man, I took that to heart. For real, I took training to heart when I was younger. When it came to sports and shit, so like, and when I mean training, I would kill myself. Like I'll do some ridiculous shit. Like for instance, like when I started. Well, anyways, I'll keep going. So I learned it. So like, you know, I learned it in basketball camp. You know, I got my vertical up. I was able to dunk it.
And you said earlier you were able to get your vertical 48 inches.
Yeah, I'll explain that later.
Oh,
I'll explain that later. That's what I'm talking about, killing yourself.
Yeah.
So I got in I got at the Eastern Illinois basketball camp. Then wound up going to Central's camp, my high school's camp, and then we were playing like summer league and shit, right? Mm-hmm. And so our first game, I was holding it in. I was like, I'll wait for the opportunity to do it, because you have to wait for an opportunity. You can't just be doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't used to it. I was just, you know, that's kind of like, you know, going Super Saiyan in that aspect. It's like when Goku first went Super Saiyan, what happened? He wasn't used to it. His body got fatigued and shit. He had to learn how to be able to stay in it. So that's basically in the sense of muscle memory. Mm-hmm. You know, because when you first learn how to dunk, it's like it's no different than walking and running. Mm-hmm. When you first learn it, you don't remember it, but your muscle memory is like, okay, you know, you have to remember how that works. You know, like it's like, okay, how do I dunk again? How do I get that approach again? You know, like you got to train your body in that aspect. So then when it comes to that first game in summer league, you know, I wound up surprising everybody when it hit I did the buzzer beater, but the point didn't count.
Why?
Oh, because it was after the buzzer, and I just felt like doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't the actual buzzer beater.
And I wanted, because everybody was roasting me for no reason. I was like, you know what? Fuck y'all.
Oh, you dunked it on the buzzer. Okay.
Quinn could dunk. Oh, no, you ain't ready now. And then so the second half go around, I'm dunking on him and getting, I got like maybe 16 points in the game.
Wow.
I think I got like 16 points.
All dunks or?
No. Some were dunks, some were just shots and shit. But yeah, I got some points in.
And then, so by the time you got to college, you were really good at dunking.
Yeah, but I didn't go to college for basketball. I went to college for track. See,
really?
Sophomore year was the thing that inspired me the most. Shouts to Argy Johnson. That was my track coach.
Okay.
So I learned a high jump through that, and I felt high jumping would have been better for me to go, because I wanted to keep playing basketball, right? And with the politics involved, I stopped playing basketball after my junior year, because I went to tryouts. I knew they weren't going to pick me, you know, because they made me ride the bench in my sophomore year. But I was like, fuck that. You know, I'm gonna just show, because I wanted to just show them up, just to be a little spiteful, because I was young. I'm a kid, you know. I'm like 17.
Yeah.
You know, I'm knee deep in the track team, and I'm already excelling in the high jump, because my best at the time was maybe 5'10", before I hit 6. What was it? 6'4". Before I hit 6'4".
On the high jump.
My junior year, yeah. Wow. My junior year, I hit 6'4". So yeah, I used that to actually, because I mean, my dad taught me this, that track is the utilization of your body. You're putting your body to the test.
Yeah.
You know, and you're maximizing every bit of it. And so then I thought it'd be great training for me to be one of the best in because he told me like the best football players and the best basketball players all ran track. You don't necessarily have to be on the team, but you just have to do the workouts. Like I still do these workouts to this day, you know, because it's like, you know, like I may not be at the same speed, but it's like I still do the same shit. It's like those are the things that help you out and help your body out. But anyways, senior year wound up hitting 6'8", and then what was it? I fell off a bit because I was redshirted. Ooh.
You're all good.
Okay, but yeah, I was like I redshirted and sucked because my grades sucked. But yeah, like I just took those over those years. Like running track, both. Because I'll say this: if for all the people that are participating in sports on the collegiate level, be proud of that. Because that's the next best thing to go in league, or basically you already league, and you can still continue on. But I look at it like that, like no one can take that away from you, because like that's not even considered semi-pro. It may be college, but it's like, nah, that's still elite. Mm-hmm. That's still elite, like not too many people make it in that. Like you really think about it, from when we kids to when we become adults, things just filter out. Mm-hmm. Even like in this rap shit, like so many people do. Like that's why I be saying I be looking at this as teachings. All these life experience like through sports and shit. Like so many people in this rap game do the same shit, try to do the same trend, and then all of a sudden it's like only a few of us make it. And the ones that actually do make it, and when I mean make it, it's like you gotta be on major publications, Hip Hop DX, Rolling Stones, The Source, Rhyme Beat, Old to the New, Insomniac Mag, 24/7 Hip Hop. You gotta be, even like BET, MTV, and shit, like on the even online and on TV. Like. I've always said this: if you ain't never made it on that shit, nigga, you ain't no real rapper.
So what to you is a real rapper if you're on?
Not a real rapper, but like you're not famous, or you're not on the tier of being amongst or being known. You're not known. There we go. That's the better phrase. You're not known, bro. And even if you're not well as known, at least those things can give you that opportunity. But it's more like also the question of how do you carry that momentum? Mm-hmm. Because if you don't carry that momentum, then you won't be known. It's just like, oh, you got that one-shot deal.
Is that your goal? You want to make it and just live off rapping?
Oh, there's always been that. There's always been that shit. Yeah.
When did you start to realize like that was what you wanted to do?
I feel like the first time I wanted to do that was actually after Lupe Fiasco. Mm. So back in college, I opened for Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I won a contest. And so then, and through all right, it is so funny about how this happened, right? So, we're going to have to do
that one just got me so high, like 3 hits. I can't smoke.
Yeah, I saw you with that.
Yeah,
I was just you ain't gonna finish that, G?
I know, right, man?
Hey guys, I am a lightwait. I don't smoke that often.
You can't just leave.
I also
I
don't want to be too high trying to have a conversation. I'll like get lost in it.
Oh no!
I mean, it's bending brains, so I figured you was gonna bend your own.
I might light it up a little bit.
Don't worry
soon.
about it, man. We on a right.
You're on a different level than I am. I'll tell you that.
Man, we be
for you to smoke that whole thing to yourself. I'm like, I can never do that.
I gotta go big or go home. I can't. I had to come with this, man. I'm like, shoot.
I mean, back when I was smoking like 8 blunts a day, the whole point of
no, you lying. Lying. That was 10.
It was 10.
Me and you smoke the same, bro.
You smoke more than I do. That's a fact.
No, it was 10, bro.
How big are these blunts?
They ain't no Sean Skimps. Like
they're not Sean Skimps though.
But 10 a day.
Yo, check this out. So like when we first met, after the music garage, right? He did an open mic over there, and when we introduced ourselves, I was like, we started talking about meeting every Sunday, and then we just keep consistently meeting every Sunday to make this series of a project. So like the Citizen EP, and when the Asterisk met the Gooch, that was all recorded at the same time. There's only a few tracks that were actually put on at the last minute, but yeah, like that was those Sundays.
Yeah, like it was a lot of us just like smoking blunts, talking about our interests, which eventually always went back to anime. And so like
how did y'all get into anime?
Oh wow.
You go first, man.
I bet. Like it's always weird because like starting out, anime was kind of like an escape to me. Like when I was growing up at first, like in junior high and stuff like that, I ain't fuck with sports like that. Like, I mean, I still wanted to participate because I wanted to like make friends and shit. Like when y'all were talking about sports, that shit was like Greek to me, man. I was like on the court, and my biggest thing was I was always trying to steal the ball. I felt like that was the biggest flex. It wasn't even blocking that shit, just like, bro, can I steal that shit from you? So I was always hacking the fuck out of people, and I was just like, no, that's not how you do it. But like anyway, when I realized that like ball wasn't for me, none of the cats would like really let me play with them. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch a bunch of TV, and so I would like always be on.
They should have ran track, cause like, bro, like for real, I'll tell you right now, the track team is one of the most chillest teams ever. Like it's like 100 niggas for no reason, and they all got different shit to do. And like literally, when I mean chilled, you can sit down. This is what I used to do, right? I used to sit down and watch throws.
Okay.
That's all I did, just sit down and watch throws. I mean, I didn't understand how throws work. I just knew that you had to throw a certain distance to win. Not a certain distance, but you had to throw further than the rest. But,
sure,
you know, it was like relaxing, you know? Like, I was like, I can chill this, do this before I have to do my damn event. Mm-hmm. It kind of got me ready for, like, doing performances. So it's like, because then you go to performances, right? Like, and then like, they got a set, or they're like, all right, well, let me go ahead and get myself together. They got to work. Like,
And the thing is, I was a troll. Like, so I would just, like, I would say shit that had to do with sports that I knew would piss people off. I would just be like, I'm Team LeBron. Just like any team that LeBron's on, I root for that team. I don't care how much that nigga flops. Like,
you were a troll.
Yeah, just like...
His flops are amazing.
Oh, yes.
He should get an award.
Like, exactly. Like, give this man an Oscar. Just like...
A raspberry. Do you know what that award is? Raspberry?
No.
I think that's the one.
The raspberry is like for like the worst films.
Yeah, the worst version of the things. Like the worst. Like they're so bad at flopping. They're bad actors. You know? Yeah.
Like I would say shit just like, man, this nigga D Rose, you look at him the wrong way and he breaks an ankle. Like just.
Oh man.
I was saying the same shit. That's why I stopped watching for a while. I'm like, God damn, bro.
Like, don't ball in no D Roses or you just might break an ankle just by, like, taking a step on the court. You take one step in the paint and some D Roses. Go to the ER. Like,
man, his situation was so unfortunate because he was so good.
Yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was fucked up to joke about, but at the same time, I was just like, I'm going to talk shit about my home team.
No, yeah, it's totally cool. I think it's funny, but I'm just saying, like, such bad luck. Like, for how good he was to have, like, bad something.
He's doing well for the Knicks, though, right now.
Yeah. It's just,
wait, Rose on the Knicks now?
Yeah, he's been on the Knicks for a while.
They just played the other night.
Yeah.
With the Joakim Noah retirement.
They played Chicago.
The Bulls Hall of Fame, I think he got inducted to.
Yeah.
No, we stuck with this Raptor neck Chris Bosh.
Man, I'm trying to figure out where he at.
That nigga look like a whole velociraptor.
The Bulls are great this year. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
They're not bad.
Nah.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm not going to reveal that.
All right. I'll tell you, how about this? I'll keep it simple. I'm 31. Are you older than me?
I will not reveal that. That's one thing I like to keep ambiguous just to mess with everybody.
I'm going to assume you're probably around my age. That's just an assumption. By the way, I love that T-shirt.
I know, right? The Whitney
Houston. Yeah.
Get high as fuck in that T-shirt. It's a vibe.
That's a great shirt.
Hard.
She was an awesome singer.
Oh yes.
Insane voice.
That Pookie, man. That Pookie fucks people up. It does. It was always funny.
Oh man, that's two people that hit the Pookie and went platinum. Oh shit. Yo, all right. I'm gonna leave it alone. Yo.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
DMX.
Pookie is crack.
No, because
I know that.
you said
there's two
what's his
people?
name? Vince Staples was talking about DMX. Was like, oh man, he can't nobody hit the Pookie and go platinum like him. And she did too. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. That's two. I hate when you said that, man. I hate when you said that because now you made me think. Goddamn. Anyway,
It would always crack me up. She was like always emphasizing how cheap of a drug crack was, but the whole thing about it, I would just like, let me stop you right there. There are different levels to crack. Like there is really, really bad crack.
I'd imagine. I'm trying to figure out how you know this shit.
I don't know anything about crack.
No,
I've never even seen it.
I mean, there's always the memes about good crack and like people running around on the street like ass naked.
Nah, don't pay attention to the memes in that one, my man. Like,
I'm not endorsing the use of crack. Like,
no, it's not that. Don't pay attention to the memes in that one, man. That's a other discussion.
Okay, but I mean,
discussion, man. I'm just saying, man.
The use of illicit drugs aside.
Let me put it like this. Freddie Gibbs said this himself. He shot a crackhead 9 times and he was still running.
Crack is like the invincibility star in Mario if you let it be.
Oh man.
I'm leave it at that.
But nah, like
there's
as far as anime, I'm gonna get back to like the topic.
Segue from crack to anime.
Yeah, like nah, but like
stay away from crack.
Like man,
End of that.
Yeah,
Stay away from crack.
Crack is whack.
Yeah, I'll stick with marijuana. I'm good with that.
Yeah, even watch the marijuana that you do. Like, don't even like. You got to be really careful where you get your marijuana because it's like one thing that my mother would always warn me about, and just all my OGs, they would always say that marijuana or weed, however you want to call it, cannabis, the sticky, the icky, it's
The kill.
Like that's one thing that I always notice. Depending on where you get it, it would always be like this. I would go to these certain like neighborhoods and I know where the plugs were, so it would almost be like after a while I'd build a reputation there as their clientele. They'd know my face, so I would go there and it'd be like throwing a loaf of bread to a flock of pigeons. So they all gonna flock to you and be like, nah, my bag bigger, nah, my sack fatter.
Where were you going? Like what area?
Harvey
World, yeah.
Harvey.
Yeah, it was so weird. They would call me shit like a Harvey World legend because I would always be there doing one of two things. I would always be, because it's almost like the alleyway to between in a sense for me, because it's where the hood begins and the suburbs end.
Yeah.
You know, as far as an experience, like it used to be such a bustling town. It was like Negro town off of Key and Peele. Like it's such a thriving area, and like the way that one of my homies described it is like, well, enough niggas died here, so now it's a ghost town. And I'm just like, well, damn, that's pretty fucking sad, because like I see the resemblance to it. I see where all these like,
well, dude, it's because of white flight, man.
Nah, I feel you.
That's all. That's why Harvey is the way it is, because of white flight.
Like here I am actually like going here.
Even where you live as the same shit. It's so, you know what's so funny? I learned about that in what was it? It was either grade in my private school or my public school. One of them shits. But we saw a video about that shit, and I'm like, wait, what? Because I mean, growing up, I've been up and down Chicago all my life. You know, I'm from Champaign, so like I got family out in Chicago and shit. So I've seen Chicago. I've been downtown. I never really been on the north side. I've been more so on the south side. Mm-hmm. But you know, I explored as an adult. You know, more so. But
do you live there now?
Oh yeah, you know, I do live there now. Yeah, like I've seen more than enough to know what area, what everyone's talking about.
Do you No, you want to keep where you're from private, or do you want to say the neighborhood you're from?
I want to keep that private.
Okay.
But yeah, like the whole experience, slice of bread, flock of pigeons. I'm just like talking to them, and one of the top selling points that they'd always have is like, that I got that kill for you, I got that wet for you, and I'm just like, okay. So when you have that as your selling point, you're talking about how high it can get me, but you're not. You don't know what's on it. You can't tell me where it's from. You don't like. I don't even know where you getting it. And so, like, especially when they started touching coke, like the minute that some people started saying like, yo, I got that white too, I'm just like, not only am I concerned that you have graduated to white, my friend, now I don't even want to fuck with you because like, I feel like that shit, you might just try and put some of that shit on my shit and give me the shenanigans so that I can stay. And I'm just like, no, I ain't going for that. So I started going to dispos, and I'm just like, I felt like it was it was more of a controlled experience because you knew the THC that was in it. You knew the THC percentage, the THC content, the CBD content. You could research the companies that, grew this stuff, where it came from.
Yeah.
And I always tell these young cats just like, nah, man, be careful where you getting it because like it could do something to you that you can't bounce back from.
Well, this is why it needs to be illegal.
Yeah, no, like exactly. It needs to be regulated. It needs to be put in
safer. It's safer. And then you get rid of a lot of unnecessary crime.
And put in the hands, the business needs to be put in the hands of more minorities. Do it. Like that's one thing that I always try and champion too, but that's neither here nor there. The whole thing with anime is first, like I would go to this whole thing with TV and I would just like watch a lot of TV, and it would be a lot of cartoons and stuff like that. Maybe some, like, I would frequent Cartoon Network, the usual suspects, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, freaking Nickelodeon. And I would notice that it was just kind of making me dumber in a sense because it didn't teach you too much about, how to conduct yourself in social situations and stuff like that. So it isolated me more. And then I'm just thinking to myself, well, I need a change from this. And so I turned to anime. And anime just kind of opened up my world in the sense that I was, like, at first it was just Pokemon. I didn't even know Pokemon registered as anime. So at first I was just
I'm right
like,
there with you.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how it was categorized. So like, I would be watching Toonami and stuff like that. I watched Pokemon, and I would low-key become obsessed with Pokemon, and people hated me for it because I was just like, nah, man, there's a whole world in this shit. Like, don't get me wrong, there were people that watched Pokemon too, and we would just play Pokemon cards. I would go to fucking tournaments and like go across states and shit. But again, it was just an escape until I started finding more anime to watch. And after a while, I would not only just watch these new anime, I would notice that there would be anime for all these different kind of narratives. So I was just looking at Air Gear. Air Gear was a big one for me. And it had everything that like a horny ass teenager would want. Like it was just like they had the fan service, and fan service in anime term, like when people say fan service in anime, it's pretty much anything that caters to the viewer most of the time in a sexual manner. So like you'll see like a chick with some like enormous titties, and she's just like they have their own physics to them, and it just like fan service like that, or just like a harem anime. They're really heavy on fan service. So the way that it always works is you have like this main character that has nothing going for them, which is easier for the viewer to project on, and then you just surround him with like upwards of 5 chicks that just want his dick for no particular reason.
And what anime are you talking about?
Air Gear.
Air Gear.
I've never heard of that.
Air Gear is this anime about
rollerblades.
Rollerblading.
All right, so it's like it's basically it's low key boasts not boasts delinquent. It's low key delinquent. So it's like whatchamacallit, these high school kids or whatever, right?
They're part of a gang, pretty much.
Right. There are a lot of high school kids that are in gang. They're in separate rollerblading gangs, and this one name. What's his name?
Iki.
Iki, yeah, Iki.
At first, it wasn't even rollerblading with him. He was just like part of this gang called the East Side Guns, and yeah, real menacing.
It's like now thinking about it now, it's like But West Side Gun. I'm sorry, I can't. Like, yo, the name for it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But nah, like he would just be chilling with his homies in the East Side Guns back when it was like just him and maybe like one or two other people. And then suddenly he learned about ATs or air treks, and those were like these super powered like
Basically, you like
rollerblades.
you can like ride on walls and shit.
Yeah, and you can like fly through
Fly
the air.
through the air and like ride on power lines, and they're magnetic.
Yeah,
like they just do all the impossible shit that you should not be able to do.
you could modify them all these different ways, and people had like their special powers and talents with them. And there was always
they be having like spears, right? They have spears coming out of them and shit.
yeah. Like it got to the point where there was an entire hierarchy, an unspoken hierarchy of teams that would just compete in all of these different events, which were specific to their level in the hierarchy. Yeah, their tiers within like ATs or air treks. And so Iki, he grew up with three, women. I think it was four. Yeah, it was four. And they were all sisters, and they just kind of took him in. He didn't have no parents, and they were part of one of these air trek squads called Sleeping Forest, and they were really well known. And when Iki looked at at ATs for a second, he's just like, what is this bullshit? Like I wanna fight people. Like I would always, and that's where Iki and I kind of just had this sort of, I guess, connection. Even though he's a fictional character, I kind of related to him because I would always be thinking about throwing my fists around the same way that he would. It's funny because Quinn, he doesn't like fighting, but he, like his school and a lot of the things about his school, he would always tell me all these anecdotes about these fights that he'd get into. Meanwhile, I'm over here like in my junior high and high school experience, I would just be around a lot of people that talk like they never got their ass beat because of this like zero tolerance policy. Like everybody would just always be popping off at the lip and stuff like that. And as a result, like, especially in the beginning, I would always be the one that was down to fight. I'm just like, not only do I not...
You're waiting for the violence.
Yeah, like, I mean, you always like, I choose violence. Like, no, I chose violence back in those days. And it was not fun because I would probably win a fraction of the fights that I had been in with the neighborhood kids. And it was bad for just me making friends because I made more enemies than friends that way.
What made you have a drive to want to fight?
It was just the fact that, well, people was always popping off at the lip. People was always in these cliques. And, one of the main things like people do, especially as adolescents and preteens, is they group think. So at first, what excluded me from them was that I was bad at basketball. And then it was the fact that I didn't really understand urban culture or hip hop culture because the area that I'm in is a very heavily migrated area. You have people that come in from Chicago, like proper, to these places, and one of the big narratives that I notice is that their parents moved them out here for one of two reasons, or maybe both. It's to get them away from the violence and the crime, and to get them in the midst of some better schools.
That's actually the reason. I mean, that is the same thing, really. Like, to get them in better schools is more so in the sense of like the systematic and the tangible, because like, like understanding why a lot of black parents move their kids to like, why you think I went to where I went to, like it's the same thing. It's like, I don't like thinking about how the way I grew up. In my mindset over the years, it was like, yeah, I couldn't survive Chicago.
Yeah.
Like I love my parents for that, but it's like, I'm like, damn, them moving to Champaign and me living in Champaign was like, it was a sweet deal, because like as many people in Champaign want to claim like, oh man, we got hoods. There's no motherfucking hood in Champaign.
Right?
Do not tell me that it's like there's no hood in those motherfucking suburbs. It's just you got a lot of crazy motherfuckers who want to do dumb shit. And
it's nothing like Chicago.
No. And hoods are hoods in Chicago, in inner cities, all over America.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people have to understand, you know? Like,
Yeah, but,
it's that frustrating.
yeah.
It's
But like the whole thing about it, I'd say, is that first it was like the not knowing too much about basketball and not being good at it. And then it was the not knowing urban culture because my parents, like when they raised me with very old school traditional values because they themselves, they're not the youngest, you know, and I totally don't resent them for that. They had me at a very late point. They had already kind of done everything. They had, traveled the world. They take me with them on certain occasions. They built
What do they do for a living?
Oh, well, my father, like, God rest his soul, rest in peace. But like my father, he
I'm sorry.
no, it's cool. He was a businessman of sorts, He would get into banking and stuff like that. He was part of he created the Morning Glory Coffee Company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which was like shook hands with Burger King. And so that was one of the achievements. I don't really know what other business endeavors like besides that he was in because like I mean I only really spent 13 years with the guy, but like he was a pretty cool dude and he would always have this business mind. Whenever I would have a new idea, he'd be the first one to say, "Yo, we could do something with that." Like I drew a colorway for a Nike shoe. It was a running shoe. It was a really ugly shoe. But like he looked at it and all the colors that I had put on it, he's like, "No, we can do something with this. We can submit it to Nike. We can make it a shoe." And I'm just like, wow. That was the first thing that inspired me to start doing art low key. Like I was doing visual art and stuff like that before I did rapping. But back to the point with like Iki and just like how I was looking at Iki, his narrative was that he would always be looking towards the sky and he didn't want anybody else to have that connection with the sky that he had. So he felt like his only way to combat that would be to fight his peers. And me, on the other hand, the reason I was always trying to fight was because I was like, if you're not going to accept me, then, you might as well fear me instead.
Run this fade.
Yeah, run this fade. Like, quite truthfully, it got to a point where I felt like it was just the entire school against me, and I was totally fine with that. I was just like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I don't care about y'all, like, hip-hop and y'all Jordans and shit like that. Everybody was just being so fake. Like, that was the whole point of it for me, like, because I would look, again, it was a heavily migrated area. So when they came over here, it was almost like my experience with them, they would prefer it if you were more urban. It's like the more urban you were, or the later you came in from Chicago, or the more connected you were to Chicago proper, the quote unquote cooler you were. Everybody had their own cliques, and what made them all kind of gel together so well is the fact that they knew more about this life. But I had to question exactly how much do you know about this life? You here now exist in this moment. Your parents brought you here for a completely different reason than what you're trying to portray.
Right.
And so that's what made me think like, nah, y'all just super fake. Like y'all want to act like y'all hood and y'all this and y'all that. Y'all know the slang and all that. Me, I'm over here pronouncing my R's correctly, and y'all want to look at me and say that I sound white. Like that was really ignorant to me. Like, I mean, they would always be just dogging me for no reason, and they would.
It's because you were to them a different type of black man.
Yeah. Like I didn't fit their image of what they thought a black man should be. And like on top of that, I felt like they just wouldn't really understand my interests like that. Like, and that's why I just kind of withdrew inward. But for a moment, I was always just lashing out because they would always make it a point to exclude me from everything they were doing. The first moment that I walked on the buses, I remember this vividly. I walked on the buses and I walked to the back because, like, well, the back is supposed to be the place to be, like it's just Like, not even for the sake of being cool, quote unquote. It was just like, nah, whenever you hit a pothole, that shit launches you in the fucking air. And it's probably the most enjoyable part of the ride because, I mean, it's a boring ride. It's going to be a boring experience. And so I walked back there, and the first thing that the guys back there would tell me, because they would always be congregating back there, is like, nah, man, don't sit here. The cool kids sit in the front. And I knew they were just trying to get me away from them. So I played dumb, and I was just like, oh, is that so? And then I'm just like, fuck y'all. I'm moving to the front where I can actually, like, I'm gonna chop it up with the bus driver because she ain't on games, she ain't on bullshit. And everybody else that's in the front is actually trying to be authentic and true to themselves, you know? And then later on, you have this idea with hip hop, because hip hop back in the early 2000s, especially where I was at, they would always copy off of what Atlanta was doing because that's what was popping at the moment.
Definitely.
If you didn't know the latest,
not even just Atlanta, but the South in general.
Yeah, the South and even Cali. Like they would say, not even say, it was unspoken that if you didn't know the latest dance trends, then people wouldn't fuck with you. I didn't know Crank That Soulja Boy, they wouldn't fuck with me. I ain't know chicken noodle soup, they wouldn't fuck with me. I ain't know how to jerk.
I still know how to do that.
What?
Both of those.
What?
Both Soulja Boy and chicken noodle soup. Oddly enough, I still know how to do those.
It was only like when I knew how to jerk and like started wearing skinny jeans and shit that people actually started trying to fuck with me more.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's cool. It's funny to think about because it's that groupthink shit. It's a groupthink mentality, like lemmings off a cliff. Like they'll just try and congregate over this like faux culture that they have built for themselves. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still fine to have fun and enjoy things. I'm not going to knock a person for enjoying certain things, but at the same time, they shouldn't be knocking me for enjoying my shit. So I'm just like, if y'all going to exclude me, fuck, might as well run this fade because I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. And like, and so like, it was me versus them, and like them trying to take away like, I guess my place in this entire social experience, because I was just trying to make friends in the beginning. Like I didn't mean any harm. I didn't mean any trouble. And it just seemed like no matter what I did, just very few people would fuck with me on that social level. And without getting too deep into it, Air Gear, what really drove the point home to me that anime was for me was the fact that it wasn't always cutesy for me. You know, it really depicted a lot of real ass moments, you know, just where, I mean, in shonen is something completely different. I was into seinen. Air Gear was a seinen. So you have shoujo, shonen, and seinen. Shoujo is anime that is marketed toward like the younger female demographic.
Don't forget Clamp. Clamp.
Huh?
Kogias. The style, the art style.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah,
Clamp.
yeah.
Don't forget about Clamp.
Yeah, where they'd have these, like, they'd be drawn all skinny and stuff like that, and they'd have these pointy-ass noses, and there'd be, like, rose petals and like, pink backgrounds and shit.
No, not even just that. They're just really skinny. That's
very skinny, yeah.
Just very skinny characters.
But, yeah, like, shoujo would cater to the female audience. You'd have these really like pretty drawn boys and stuff like that. And then you had the other end, which was shonen, which was more action based, and it was catering to the male audience and stuff like that. That was their demographic. And then you have seinen, which is supposed to be more toward the adults, and it'll capture a lot of different adult themes, things like, you know, politics, or like, you know, maybe sports, or just it could be a show about completely nothing but a city, but have adult themes in it. Just like with Air Gear, you had these gangs, and yeah, sure, it had its little bit of fan service, but at the end of the day, these people were actually fighting and like getting hurt because of these like AT battles and stuff like that. And when Iki found it, like he was in his gang with like the East Side Guns. He found ATs. He got everybody else into ATs. And
that should be so funny to me. I'm sorry.
And in the beginning, he wanted to battle people. It was the same shit with him. He was just like, now that I got these ATs, I actually appreciate them now. I'm going to use it to fuck people up. And his sisters immediately chimed in and just like, stop using ATs to get into fights. It's deeper than that. And that's when he realized that this is something that he could turn into a passion and he could make something of his life with it. Mm-hmm. And so I had to look really deep within myself and think, yo, this fighting people, it's not going to work forever. So I thought about my strengths. I'm good with words. I like one of the things that people always would tell me is that like I'm too smart for my own good. And so I kind of took that to heart, and I would just always be reading and, you know, keeping to myself that way. And so around like 8th grade, I was, you know, watching hella anime, all these different obscure animes. I would have a couple of different people that were like watching it with me, not too many. And I was fine with that. I just reached this conclusion that this construct of popular is a facade. It's really having more friends, and they're not even really friends. They're just like associates, you know, like a whole lot of group thinkers. And so it's better to have a sort of tightly knit circle. And with that tightly knit circle, I would just be spitting and rhyming. And during that talent show, that was the first time that I performed. And that was when I finally got a little bit of respect. And so I took that and I ran with it right into high school. And so that was basically like how anime was with me. And then like what like drove it even further home is anime club. Yeah, like high school's anime club. Like
we had an anime club in my high school. And then like, I mean, it's probably still going on, but like it wasn't as prominent. But go ahead.
No, it's cool. It's cool. But like,
can you guys keep that conversation? We'll have to use the restroom real quick, but I won't be long.
Oh, no, def.
I'll be right back. You keep talking. We won't go. We'll stay live.
Nah, def. But like the anime club, like we would always be learning more about anime, and that's what made me realize that it had a sort of culture around it. And like it was something that I really wanted to learn more about because they would capture all this stuff that, you know, mainstream American cartoons just wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't touch it.
Like, I swear to God, like, all right, so American cartoons, right? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm about to like this shit. Like, I'm tweaking. Yeah, but like American cartoons, man, like they just don't hit it. Like, okay, it's always problem of the week. Never a continuation. Like, literally the first time I've ever seen it as a kid with like American cartoons was X-Men and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They just continued on. It's like, yeah, maybe the villain of the week and that nigga like is just like on some bullshit, but they continue on like certain parts of a story. So like all the Marvel joints was like pretty good, but like, you know, anything else, like there are other things that like, all right, like nowadays, you know, more so like current day, like, you know, what's one? I'm sorry. Avatar. There you go. Avatar.
Yeah, like they'd always focus on, in American cartoons, I feel like they'd always focus on the character more than how the story affects the character. So like it'd just be, oh, the character is this way, he's not changing, let's just put him in all these wacky situations and see what he does as this character. But the character themselves, they never grow. In an anime, they actually grow and change, you know, and learn lessons.
Even Goku changes after a while. Like for instance, like in the current manga, Dragon Ball Super, Goku's realizing that these new power-ups that he's getting are not, you know, are not meant to be used for as transformations. Like Ultra Instinct and that. Oh, shit. Yep, got my keys. Just making sure. Shit, I'm like, shit. I thought something fell out of my pocket. But yeah, like Goku has to understand now that like him using Ultra Instinct and shit is not a transformation. It's a technique more than a transformation. You know, it's like it's giving him a bit more so like it's giving the character vulnerability. You know, like he's now learning that it's like, because I mean in Z it was like, oh, it gotta get to the next level. Now he's in the same mindset of getting to the next level, but oh wait, hold on. It's let me understand this now. And it's giving Vegeta a little more shine because Vegeta's a warrior. Like he understands how to learn techniques and fight, but yeah, it's like in that sense of like, you know, character growth. Like yeah, that's something that anime really does. Like as much as people want to say that like certain animes don't do that, like we saw Naruto grow from a boy to a man to everybody in JoJo and the whole through the whole bloodline, just progressing, even though they're having this like generational fight
With the same nigga, no less.
with the same person, right? Like
I know nothing about anime, and
It's okay.
I've seen like 4 movies.
which ones?
Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away,
Seen that one. The first one I haven't seen, but yeah,
Ghost in the Shell,
that's awesome.
and I'm drawing a blank on the 4th one. Pretty much the ones that are very popular, the classics that a lot of people know.
You seen
the
Akira?
Miyazaki films.
Yeah.
You seen Akira or Akira?
Yes. I think that's the 4th one. I'm really bad with the names. That's how little I know. You know.
Akira. Oh my god.
Akira is not a Miyazaki film, but it is a classic.
Man, that's the joint.
I would love to kind of learn more about it. I don't know if I would go as far as like you guys, you know, but I'd like to like watch more of it.
Akira, I'll put it like this. It's as long as the Bible. But thankfully there's more action pages than text. And you'll get into it. There's a lot of text in the beginning and it slowly dies down later on, but Akira, to my memory, but maybe I'm tweaking. But Akira, oh man, that's an amazing manga. Like the movie, I'll put it like this. Okay, you have you read the Watchmen?
No, I have not.
Okay. I'll say this in comparison to American and Japanese, you know, literature and entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. Where the Watchmen comic book and the movie is where Akira is in the sense of the manga and the movie. There is just too fucking much to put in. Mm-hmm. You know, like I will agree on the argument that the sex scenes was too damn long and it was unnecessary. But
It's not often you hear that about a movie.
I mean, I ain't gonna front. You watch that motherfucker, like it's kind of like,
Yeah.
It's a little gratuitous, like
yeah, like right. It's really gratuitous. It's like if y'all want to do that, make a porn. Like
I know what
man.
you're saying.
like make a hentai.
Yeah, right. Like, but Akira, but I mean, I'll compare. But Akira didn't have that. But like, you know, that's also like, for those who ain't paying attention. I was talking about Watchmen. Because I ain't gonna front out. That shit was kind of like, all right, I get it. Yeah. Rated R set. Anyways, but like those two in the same sense, it's like there's too much to actually put in on the actual movie. Like they really like took bits and pieces from every little part and shit. Like kind of like how they did Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they made 3 movies, but
They could have been a lot more.
mm-hmm.
You know, if they did the same thing that a lot of TV shows do now, where they could take 10 episodes, 10 one-hour episodes, you know, or even more than that, like multiple seasons, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, you could really tell a magnificent story with a lot of depth and character building, you know? And you can get viewers, listeners engaged a lot more easily. So it seems like that's very similar to anime. They have really in-depth stories, and that's why there's like a lot of TV shows, right?
Yeah.
So you can explain more when you have a lot of TV shows doing it.
Like in-depth stories and interesting and well-written characters.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like for instance, like, and for the sake of being succinct, I'll just say, like, I'll fast forward, like, because I'm sorry, I've been going through, like,
No, you good, man.
my fucking entire life story.
No,
like,
it's all good.
I feel like I'm on a fucking, like, couch in a shrink's office. Fuck.
Yo,
But nah,
this
like,
is my little brother, everybody. Little Kydd. He is. No, look into the camera, my man. He's dressed like Android 17. You see how bad I feel? I feel like I should have dressed as Sheena if I knew this was going to happen.
You're a Whitney Houston fan for Halloween.
Yes.
There you go.
No. If I was gonna be a Whitney Houston fan, I would have got the Martin shirt, Whitney Hudden. I would have got that shirt.
Man.
I'm actually for to buy that shirt too.
Yeah. Man.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that shirt. So when y'all see me, if y'all don't recognize my face, Dr. Quinn, you see this Whitney Houston shirt? Yeah, I'm gonna trade it in for a Whitney Hudden.
Where did that name derive from, Dr. Quinn? Where'd that come from?
Dr. Quinn?
Yeah, for you.
All right. So, woo! So, years ago, if you look it up, I was under an old alias, but the collaborative project was with Grill Billions. And shout out to the homie, man.
Grill fucking cold.
Grill Billions, but he went under emcee. And is it time? Nah, it's not time yet. I'll wait for the 3rd installment to give y'all that one. Because right now I'm promoting Gucci's God and God is Everything. Wait, hold on, do I have it on me? Let me see something. Because I know I got because if you didn't bring it up, I got a second one.
I peeped bits and pieces of this album, and I can vouch that it is fucking cold as shit. You have no other reason not to. Like,
How many songs are on it?
I don't know how many, but I will say you have all the reasons and excuses to cop it. It's disgusting out. It's a Chicagoan fall. The wind is pretty much unbearable. I don't even know how niggas are trick-or-treating in this. Just stay the fuck indoors. Get this album. Fucking vibe out. It's a fun time. Like, shit, Black Friday is coming up. There's another reason. Fucking get it.
Oh, man.
Keep yourself fucking warm with that fire. Because, like, this man just covered a lot of different topics. And I'd say this was very thematically strong for him just, by virtue of me listening to it. Not by virtue of it, but as I listen to it, I'm just like, it's very, very, it's very deep. It's very lyrically deep. It's very conceptual. I'm trying to think of the proper way to state this. It really takes a lot of the deep facets of Quinn's mind and puts them in the forefront, which is something that I appreciate artistically, and that's something that I always like seeing him do. So, like, yeah, Gucci's God and God is Everything. Like, let it be known that it is one of his magnum opuses.
Where did that name come from? The album name.
So the album name, man. So first off, yo, we gotta go. I don't know. Did you bring that shirt from?
I forgot to grab that shirt.
It's okay.
Well, we can still show it.
So I'm gonna show the shirt, yo. I'm grading him. Well, since my man is awesome and out of nowhere reached me, I'm gonna tell you how this happened. he emailed me, and I damn near got scammed into another show one time, and then I had to double check myself, right? And I was like, wait, so he asked me to perform? Yeah. I bet I'm down. So after the performance, he I saw the crew shirts that his crew was wearing. I was like, man, I love those baseball shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm into fashion. That's how I am. So I mean, as an equal trade, because I mean, I love this man. He's cool. He's dope as fuck.
Thank you.
Gotta give him one of these.
That's a sick shirt. Where did that design come from?
Oh,
And who made it? It's cool.
Oh man, deep dive into Quinn's mind. So this segues into the actual album. I'm actually happy that we're talking about this too.
Are you gonna get it on vinyl?
I really want to, but at the moment, man, like
It's hard.
it's not hard. Actually, it's not hard. It's just more so the fact of like, me, shouts to Big Tape Records, Nate, Seti, Razone, us two. This is my vice pres, and my little brother. I'm the president, CEO, whatever, But it's like, yeah, we do this, we do that on our own music. But
That's your own record label?
yeah, it's our own record label.
And what's that called?
Big Tape Records.
That's a cool name. Who came up with that? Yours truly. That's cool.
Yeah,
If you want creative freedom and, just the freedom to express yourself in any way you so choose, and you just happen to live in the Chicagoland area, we're talking like Chicago, South Suburbs.
We want to collab. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We want to collab with y'all.
Yeah, we are an alternative sound first and foremost, I believe. I could be wrong. That is just the way I look at Bit Tape. But we are an alternative sound, and we take pride in that because we're trying to do things that are off the beaten path, like just first and foremost. So
all right, so the Gooch, right?
Yeah.
So I was talking to so we were talking before about this, right? So like remember Different Strokes?
Mm-hmm.
So the Bully was named the Gooch, right? That was the nickname of the Bully, right? That Arnold had to deal with that Lord rest his soul, Gary Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, the Gooch is a girl. And I was like, that's funny as hell. Like, oh shit, the Gooch. And then I heard Clan in the Front from Wu-Tang. Up from the 36 chambers, it's the Gooch. And RZA took that moniker, and I'm like, okay, that's hard. And the reason I took it from that is like A$AP Rocky took Pretty Flacco from Mos Def. And I'm like, that's actually a hard-ass name. And so how it came about was like, in that instant was this. I was talking to somebody. We were talking on Snapchat. And then, I just sent, she sent me her face. I was going to send her my face. I was going to be goofy and shit. I was going to make myself look like the Joker. I'm like, why the fuck everybody want to be the Joker? Why do I want to choose that shit?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, fuck that. So I made my face different, right? So I had my little fur snow cap, those little Russian hats and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then took a picture of my face and then blacked it out like you see on there and shit. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, the Gooch.
Did she roll with it, though?
I didn't care because I rolled with it because I was like, you know what? That's going to be the first EP I do. And so after LB's, because LB's came out technically on the internet 2012. It really came out in 2011. But the 2012 version, if you got a VPN, you can find the Japanese version. The Japanese version is the actual true version. I'll say the old alias now. Y'all gonna get the exclusive, All right, here we go. emcee and I2K space lowercase e capital L period B apostrophe S. And if you have a VPN and go to Japan, you'll hear the the actual uncut version of it is that it's the better version of that shit. Yeah. I mean, you know, like with this new album coming out, you know, I have to reveal myself a little more.
Sure. When does it come out?
Oh, tomorrow.
On Halloween, Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this will come out Wednesday. So the album will be out already for 3 days.
Yeah. But like that's how I mean, that's how the EP came about because we were signed to Reserved, and shouts to John and all them Tomorrow Kings, my brother, my big bros, our big bros, more so our big bros, and one for them. This wouldn't happen, and so I thought about like doing a sequel for a while, and over time, I was like, all right, let me just do it, you know? So I think the very first, all right, so 2017, right? 2017. The very first track was Butter. The very first track. I didn't even think I'll make the very first track my first track, because I don't. You know, normally any artist doesn't really make their first track their very first track. So it's like, all right, I want to open it with that. After that, boom, Butter. And so this album's more so like more artistic than the last one. It's very not more artistic than the last one, but just on a different level. Because the first time I did because had it not been for COVID, I would have done the same thing. Because the first time I came out with the Gooch. Or the prequel to this, I actually had an art exhibition featuring 5 different artists. You know, they hung up paintings. Hung up paintings and presented their art. Buy My Drugs was there. You know, shouts to Denmark and Azarias, and Eliax, Impolite Society. If y'all know who they is, check them out. Or know who they is, because that's Chicago history. There will be no written if it wasn't for Impolite Society. Dead ass. But I'm dead ass with that. But you know, when it came, you know, with COVID going on, you know, I wanted to release it after 5 years because it came out in 2015. But you know, like with everything going on, things slowly opening back up, I'm not tripping about releases because I've attained certain things, so I'm not even tripping. But it's more so like like keep creating that album. You know, it took some years. But it, you know, in the sense of like, yeah, it took some years to write. You don't rush artisticness. You know, you have to really like nurture that in the sense, you know, like get yourself in the right mindset, because like this shit is a different mindset for me. Like you got Dr. Quinn, split him up into 3 personalities. Dr. Quinn in the middle. That's the what the fuck? That's the super ego. The Don Briscoe, that's the ego. The God Gooch, that's the id. The id is just isn't the purpose of just do. You know, like I'm here with it. Like it's all debauchery in this next album. It's all debauchery. You know, like it's very. You know, like right. It's just. Speaking on in the sense of this, like in the sense of debauchery, like I speak in double and triple entendres, and most people won't even recognize that have I not say it. But it's more so about, you know, like I was talking about like being in a private school and learning about religion, like talking about false idols. You know, I talk about like if for those who heard my work, you know, like I always talk about the Midas touch. I talk about the golden calf. I talk about. You know, I got a fucking song called John the Baptist.
Right.
You know, and I'm talking about the king the whole damn story. You know, and I gotta reread it to make sure I did it right. Like, you know, I'm like, shit, like, did I do that shit right? But like it's talking about false idols and making yourself feel known. You know, like it really talks about the sense of what's being a God and what's truly God. You know, like I can say I'm God, not in the sense of being crazy. Like, oh, yeah, I'm God. I made the world. You know, no. I create what the fuck I survey. It's out of that. It's out of. It's out of the 5% of the language in that sense. You know, like what Wu-Tang and shit be doing. You know, it's out of that. You know, in the sense of like you create what you survey. You know, not in the sense like that's why I be saying like, what up, God? How you doing, God? Because I look at everybody as a person that's a creator. They can create what they survey and what they can change, you know? And with this new album, it's more so like about, okay, I'm not asking you the question. There you go. I'm not asking you the question. It's more so like you may want to ask yourself that question. Are you changing your surroundings? You know? Because, like, I'm speaking on a whole bunch of debauchery, but does that debauchery control you?
But I feel like the overarching theme is for you. If I were to restate it in a different way, it's that when you're addressing the listener, you are addressing them as though they are of God. Therefore, by that fact, they are in essence a God.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like that. That's very deep.
Yep.
Do you face your own, like where you get your lyrics from? Do they come from a place of facing your own ego a lot?
Life. It's all from life. You know, like it's really all from life. Like I had, like from the conversation we had, we've been having already. That's where this all comes from. It's like,
Yeah.
You know, I speak on the racism. I speak on my own mental health. I personally go through depression. I tweet about it. I put it on the gram. You know, I try to tell people, you know, in the sense of like I don't tell people what's going on. I make it a bit vague. Like you seen it last year. Like I was like, hey, look, I can't deal right now, but just understand I'm gonna be okay. I keep it vague in that sense because it's like I want y'all to know that, and I want y'all to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. Because I don't want anyone to feel that they're, because I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've saved someone from depression. I'm not looking at it that way. I just want people to know that like they're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fucked up place. You know, and I battle it. It creeps up. Like I saw a meme earlier today, like when your depression just turns up and you try to say no, like damn.
Ugh.
That's exactly how it works. It's like, yeah, we're going, no.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's, you know, like, it all very much comes from a real place, you know, like, I can't speak on some of that crime shit, but at the end of the day, it comes from a real place. And I want, you know, like I tell him, I tread the line like Batman. You know, Batman don't use guns, but we'll beat your ass in submission.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's that line of treading. It's like, okay, either a heavy hospital bill or death. And it's like, you choose the other way. It's like, you got to owe up to it. You know, so it's more like, what are you about? And that's kind of the thing that I stick with a code of honor. You know, like, I don't talk about shit that I don't know. I know shit, but I don't play with it. You know, it's just like spoon feeding just a little tad bit. There's just some things I say or things I put in, but it's never he trying, nope. I'm not trying to be anything. Not trying to have anybody think I'm doing this. Like, don't let the change confuse y'all. You know, this is all fun. This is only for the album, you know. Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, this is all for fun. No, it's not Halloween shit. But still, it's for the. But it's like the idea. Like I've been honestly trolling this. Remember the last show, bro? I'll make sure.
You mean DZ?
The last one we did. No, the other one we did in Midlothian.
Oh, word, yeah.
Yeah, Cash was upset.
They were so mad.
They was upset. I had all 4 on.
You was on your Mr. T shit, and like people like
scoffed.
They
Why?
were looking at your shit, and
Why?
they wanted to put the, you know how on YouTube they do the little diamond tester, the density testers on rappers' chains and shit.
They scoffed.
They were just like, oh, like where you get them shits from, a vending machine? Like, fuck. Nah, he's trying to portray an image. He is not a parody of it, but he is a statement on all of these different stereotypes of the rap image that you guys cling to so much. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I vibed with it. Like,
I'm just being very, again, like we always say, it's being disrespectful.
yeah, like,
It's like in the good way. It's like, you know, like I ain't sitting there saying it's good to be disrespectful, but it's like it's more controversy in the sense of like, ah, shit, who do you think he is? Well, I feel like I'm better than you right now because of this new album. You know, like if the title was is called Gooch is God and God is Everything, what the fuck you think I'm going to do to promote it?
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Ye, but I'll take a page from his playbook in the sense of, hey, and a lot of other rappers, even like Tyler, you know, like I saw this is an artist on Instagram that like paints people from the ages and shit, you know, like and Vic, you know, like you have a certain age of you, you know, like where you come from and where you go. You know, there was the Gooch Dr. Quinn that was like dressed a little nice but a little grungy in black. Then you had, what, Bright Lights and Lo-Fi that was all like looking like Mos Def and like a neo-soul dude.
mm-hmm. That's where I met you.
Right. Then you had...
How did you guys meet?
Music Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened was I met, like when me and Quinn...
For those listening, what is Music Garage? Can you explain to people?
Oh, yeah. Music Garage, I think it's located more out west, but I'm not sure.
It's by
Again,
Cermak.
It's by Cermak, yeah.
Wait,
Again,
is it by Cermak? No. I forgot what it's called. I had to look it up.
Again, like full disclosure, I can't geography, but like...
I can't either.
Yeah, but like anyway, Music Garage, they have a bunch of different studios, real souped up studios, and like that's their main function.
They rent them out. So they rent out studio
Yeah.
space for so...
Like, yeah, but anyway, they used to have open mics. They discontinued them shits, but when they had them, they were fire, even though it was always random order and it didn't matter. Like, actually, the way I remember it, sometimes they went random order, sometimes they went first come, first serve. But the times they went random order, it just made you want to commit Japanese ritual suicide. Like, it really did. Because you're just like, I made it so I could get there first. I just pushed everything out the way, and now you're gonna say random order. Like, it was almost like an affront to me. Like, I did, of course it's not, but you just feel it, just like, But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I was performing Black Mages in my kitchen, which is an unreleased track, and I performed it in front of Quinn. He was there. He saw me with the Triforce necklace. And like,
so I was with my lady at the time, and I swear to God, at the time, like I didn't know how far deep we were either in the game with each as individuals. Mm-hmm. I noticed my girl at the moment. And I was like, hey, he can rap. She's like, how you know? Like, one of two things. It's no different than track. He got that Triforce necklace, right? Made of Legos. He ain't gonna flex that shit for nothing. He either gonna be real or he gonna be trash.
Yeah, like that was the whole thing. Like that was one of my, you were saying like how rappers are throughout the ages. In the beginning, it was nothing but like Lego pieces and like chains with Lego medallions on the end. So I had one of a Triforce, I had one of a Kirby, I had one of a Spike Turtle from Super Mario. But anyway, I came there with a Triforce, and I rapped my shit. And I also listened to him rap his shit. Didn't you perform that day?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
You did 3 songs. No, you did Politicians and PSA.
Yeah.
That's the time I saw you did Politicians and PSA.
Oh, dang. I thought I did Black Mages. But anyway.
No, you didn't do Black Mages. Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah,
You did
like
too
after,
that night.
like I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No,
but
you're good.
but like nah. After that, like Quinn just hit me up. It was real like out of the blue, and at first I was just like I listened to his voice. I'm like, you know what?
First time I walked up to him, I was like, bro, we on the same level of weirdness.
Yeah. Sorry, I left that part out because
You just knew right away.
yeah.
I just knew right away. Like
Right.
this, I'm like,
Like we did chop it up because like you noticed, like I always felt like whoever noticed the Triforce and knew what it was, they was already a real one just by virtue of that. So like me and him, we just kind of clicked over that. We exchanged numbers, and the first time we linked up, we actually just, smoked a blunt and talked about our different interests. We both were nerds. We both liked video games. We both fuck with anime. And after a while, that's how The Citizen was born, because we was always talking about all these different anime references in our rhymes and who we looked at and looked up to as far as rhymes were concerned. He got me hip to West Side Gun and shit. Like, as far as rapping is concerned, I got him hip to like my influences, like Shoot Zero and Knowledge.
I've been on Knowledge, but like you got me into Bus Driver.
Bus Driver is that shit.
You got me into Bus Driver.
I'm not familiar with Bus Driver.
Yeah. I can't even describe Bus Driver.
He's the best known for his song in Tony Hawk Underground, like Imaginary Places. I'm just here to hold your hand when you die and to show you about imaginary places. Put your bloody lumps on my bloody stump. Like that shit is.
All right, so now I'm ignorant. All right, so yeah, I'll admit that one. He made that shit.
Yeah.
God damn, that's him.
What's it called? I'm gonna look it up.
Imaginary Places.
Imaginary Places by
Say
Bus
that.
Driver. Yeah, you got me more hip than the Bus Driver, man.
Man, I ain't even talked to you about Bus Driver that much. We can do that. We can just
We didn't really talk about
Bus Driver.
that.
Okay, I got it right here, man. I'm gonna put it in my plate.
Bus Driver and Zero, and yeah, he. Man, all right. So to keep in short, man. All right, yo, with the anime and hip hop, so how we, all right. So like how I got into anime in that sense, it's like I didn't even know it at the time, but my dad got me into Speed Racer and Astro Boy, and then later on, I started recognizing that like Street Fighter and shit was like from Japan, but motherfucking Dragon Ball Z. Motherfucking Dragon Ball Z. Gotta be like champagne. Motherfucking Dragon Ball Z.
So anime has been a big influence.
It really has been for a long time. And it's my favorite, I'll say, of all time will still be between. It's Gatchaman. Gatchaman, and then like second will be like the Devilman OVAs. I love Devilman Crybaby. It's cold as shit. Like I feel like if they were to implement the story of Amon, the apocalypse of Devilman into the Devilman Crybaby series, that'd have been good, because that would have chronologically told the story of Furo Akira going into it. But then there's Akira, and that's awesome. I mean, I can get in that all day, but like growing up, like watching those, like I saw like I felt anime was so much different, like we were just saying earlier, like it was so much different. Like you had more like women who are heroes and shit, like Idia, Aiko and Biko,
Outlaw Star.
I wouldn't even count that one, man. Outlaw Star was a little bit more sexualized, but I would say like,
I mean, hey, you could be sexy and still be a hero.
Sailor Moon.
You
True.
said that you were so concerned.
But I mean, I'm just
Hey,
saying in
man.
the sense of like who the main protagonist is.
That's fair. Like,
The main protagonist, but like then there's then you got. Well, I mean, all right, so that's the second. I mean, I'd be like, oh, you make a kiss. No, Sailor Moon was dope.
Sailor Moon is that
See,
shit.
I watched that when I was a kid.
that fuck. Bro,
I
ain't
did
gonna
see
lie,
that.
man. Sailor Moon broke certain barriers.
Yeah.
It broke
It
certain
had
barriers
a
over the
great
years.
female empowerment to me.
Well, not even just that. It broke a lot of sexual barriers.
Well, like, as a young boy watching it, like as
You-
it was coming out.
Did you know about So you know about what Sailor Saturn? No. What were the other planets? There were men, but then they're
the Starlights.
yeah, the Starlights.
The
yes.
Starlights were trans. Like,
Yeah, the Stars were trans.
And I don't remember. Yeah.
that's because it was
Yeah.
Sailor Stars. Like, in total, there are 200 episodes of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, literally.
And the last, like, season of them were only available in Japan.
Why is it that they always come out with characters that are way stronger than the main protagonist, but don't try? I get tired of that.
I mean, they wanted. I feel like the way that they tell that story is just so, like, they can show that the main character is going through some kind of growth. Like, the outer sailors, the outer planet
That's
sailor
word.
scouts, like Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, and I guess we can add Saturn to that. They're all stronger than Sailor Moon in most situations. They could fucking mop.
Facts.
They could fucking mop the floor with her just by virtue of their abilities.
Even Venus can whoop her ass.
Yeah, because
Just
she's
by-
been in
just
the game longer.
Because she got combat skills alone.
Yeah, like, but the whole thing about it is, I mean,
They got a lot of sexual empowerment in that aspect, like.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not trying to be very ignorant on that. It's like I haven't seen all the episodes like that, but it's like from what it portrays, it's like it was before its time when it came out. Because that's kind of like, oh shit, like we ain't talking about that here. I mean, we do, but we make fun of it. But they ain't making fun of it over there. But like, yeah, like even Gatchaman, and I say this about Gatchaman, right? Like most people will remember it as Battle of the Planets or G-Force. I remember it as G-Force when I first saw it, and that was probably like with maybe the one of during that time I did recognize anime. It was just older, and so then when Gatchaman came out, or G-Force came out, you know what's so funny about America, right? Like, say they had giant robot battles and shit, and they're fighting in the city, or Superman's fighting in the city. The city happens to be abandoned. They censored it in that sense to make it like that, to say it like that. But there were scenes where niggas was dying, and it's like, yeah, during a battle like that in the middle of the city, people will be dying.
Oh yeah.
in anime, niggas die. Like,
For real, they die for real. Like but it's like that's
Violent.
the thing about America. That's like I don't like about its animation in that sense. It's like we have to watch like, and maybe it's about the film industry and shit, But I don't know. But it's like I don't like that, Like
Yeah.
anime taught more lessons than it would have taught than a more American joints. In that sense of like, oh, yeah, like if you shoot somebody, they'll die. Plain and simple. Power Rangers. Yeah, no one's talking about the fact that it's called Super Sentai and they have special armor.
I didn't know that.
even in Sailor Moon, niggas died. Like the inner 5 Sailor Scouts, they all died 4 of the 5 of them died one by one, and like Sailor Moon had to resurrect them with the power of love. Like and it was so.
I swear to God.
And you were saying that like Sailor
of love.
That's pretty much what it was. Like it's all symbolic. When it comes to magical girl anime, they always have
Really
that
is.
they always have that symbolic thing that their power is supposed to represent. Like in Madoka Magica, I think it's supposed to be the hopes of humanity. And
The hopes of humanity. Oh my god.
yeah, like
I need to rewatch that one, man.
even Sora from Kingdom Hearts, he registers to me as the world's first magical boy. Like, because proving that men can do it too. Because, like, throughout the whole thing, there are all these ambiguous, just like concepts.
Yes, we laugh at it, but we will laugh at it in the sense of a reaction of like, oh man, that is true though.
Like, the gummy ship is powered by laughter. The enemies are the heartless. The key enemy are the heartless. And the reason that they are the enemies is because they feed off of things like despair and anger and hate. Yeah.
You guys go deep with this.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a really conceptual time, and also one thing I will cite is that it's funny that you say that Sailor Moon is like it's sexually liberated. When Sailor Moon, I had to get over this myself because I didn't watch Sailor Moon when most people would. I watched it when I was like 18 or something. I binged all 200 episodes, and I had to realize it occurred to me almost 5 episodes in, like, yo, why does Sailor Moon dress like this when she's 14? Like, yeah,
that's kind of weird.
That was
I
very
didn't think
weird.
about that when I was like,
I
7.
mean, like, not to be like, weird like that. It's just kind of like, it's like we gotta remember, like, most cartoons, like, because I mean, I saw that when I was like, how old was I? Fucking 7. Yeah, I was like 7.
Yeah,
when I
me
saw
too.
that.
But I didn't pay attention really.
But it was like, when you get older and the internet was like coming out like that, like you like see about certain things. Like I started looking up more Dragon Ball episodes like that, and then like my sister was more into Sailor Moon than I was, but I actually still liked it because it was like it wasn't like a girl thing. Like it was like, like the main protagonists are always like kids for some reason. That's kind of why I find Evangelion funny. Like, oh, let's put this real little boy in this anime situation.
And another thing I'll say is that me and Quinn, when we created The Citizen, what really made us complement each other so well is that I was into shoujo and seinen. He was into shonen and seinen. And so I would...
What's shoujo again?
Shoujo is for girls,
Oh,
theoretically speaking, or demographically speaking.
well, yeah, I wasn't watching all that shoujo. Yeah, you're right. Take it back.
No, you were watching a lot of shonen.
Yeah, I was. I couldn't take Fruit Basket. That was...
Fruits Basket isn't that shit. Fruit Basket is my jam. Like,
I need to watch it now. And I feel nowadays I can watch it, but like
it's got a raw ass soundtrack. It's got like, it's got well written characters.
I heard it was actually more darker than what it's supposed to be. But god damn,
I love how you guys are like sitting here discovering things about each other, and I'm just like viewing like your friendship just like change differently and like get tighter or like get more aware of each other. Like, oh, I had no idea that you were.
Oh no, he's heard my plight about Fruit Basket before.
Have I?
Yeah.
Refresh me?
What time is it? Do you guys know?
I've said that for years.
Oh shoot, 6:48.
Damn.
How long is this podcast supposed to go on?
Yeah, my
It's
bad.
been like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh damn, time flies.
Did you guys know that?
I didn't know.
How long do you think it's been?
I feel like this has been a very tangential conversation. There are so many
Yeah.
loose ends that I haven't tied up.
Yeah, there is.
I know,
there is,
right?
but
Like, right.
I think I'm gonna just maybe explain all the details about like your record and where people can find it, and anything else you have going on that you want to promote and talk about, and then maybe someday we can have a part 2 of this and tie up loose ends.
Oh yes, that'd
'Cause
be
I know
great.
you guys have a show at. Need to be somewhere at 8, right?
Yeah. We got to be in
we
Midlothian at
do.
8.
Yeah, we should end this now because of time. And I have a Halloween party starting too, which I totally forgot
Holy
about.
fucking shit.
That's where that's like you heard people talking more.
Nah, you good, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
No, there's a lot more to talk about. But yeah, promote your record and promote anything you've coming out. There you go.
Arguelles.
Arguelles, yeah.
Hey, it's the Lord Don Bronzeville, Bristol God Goose, Lord Gluttony, Dr. Quinn, bringing mass hysteria to Bend and Branch area with Ben Arguelles. You know, and I got my little bro.
Yeah, you already know what it is. Like I said, GM from your BM's DM, making the nasty to your ear. It's Lil Kydd, the trench coat wizard, the asterisk. I go by many names. I hail from the South Suburbs of Chicagoland area, Illinois. And you will find my boy Dr. Quinn at
DrxQuinnx. And look out for the album dropping on Halloween. And if y'all have, by the time this is posted, go support the Bandcamp because it will come out on all streaming services later. So.
Do you know when?
Oh, yeah, by Friday.
Oh, okay. So this will be out 2 days before that. So that's good.
So, yeah.
In 2 more days.
So, yeah, it will come out. So, yeah, it's going to come out on Bandcamp tomorrow. So, at DrxQuinnx. And you can find my man at LIL_KYDD.
Don't go to just straight LILKYDD because
Do not.
they hack that shit and they're trying to push Bitcoin scams on that shit. Like, don't do it.
So at LIL_KYDD and follow me at DrxQuinnx. You heard me.
Wonderful. Thank you both, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. I learned a lot. I discovered a lot. And I don't know. I really look forward to the next time we hang out, the next conversation.
Last thing I will say.
Sure.
Watch, if you want to get into anime and you like seinen, I feel like this will help. Like, this will definitely fit with your demographic, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Durarara. It's
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Durarara.
Basically,
Text me that.
it's
So I
onomatopoeia
remember.
like.
It's supposed to mimic the revving of a motorcycle.
Okay.
It's staged in Ikebukuro, which is one of the 3 main cities in Tokyo.
Okay.
And it's an anime where every character matters. Every character grows. There's a whole
Hold on,
list
you
of them,
seen-
and
you
it
seen
keeps
The
growing.
Wire? Just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
That, yeah, it's just like that. Just
All
like
right.
that.
I'm going to check that out. If you can text me that.
It's on Netflix.
Cool. I'm going to
Oh,
check
it
that
is
out.
now?
That's awesome. I'll check that out soon. Lil Kydd, Dr. Quinn, it's been wonderful. Thank you again for your honesty and for just being yourselves and for your art and for your friendship. It's been great.
My brain is officially bended. I feel like it's been turned into a pretzel. Like, it's cool though because I'm happy about it and it is consensual. Therefore, it is right.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you both. It's been a pleasure. All right, take care, guys.
Gucci got it, got it.